direction there. Now, we're already a little bit out of time, but if anyone has any comments, questions, I'd be very happy to take them now. Yes, there's a gentleman over there. Please introduce yourself and ask a very, very quick question because we're so short on time.
It's not good. I try to be as... Okay. Professor Linson from the IMNRC Newport Network. I'll try to be as short as possible. The IMNRC, I'd like to make a comment on education. The IMNRC is the Neuroscience Research Center interested in the education of tomorrow, and the Newport Network is interested in the governance of tomorrow. The new capacity building program integrates both, and there are 130 countries participating. Now, we have been invited to attend many presentations at the European Commission Parliament, and I made an alarming conclusion quite some time ago. And that is that whatever the thematic, the issues raised have reached such a level of complexity that academics, experts, politicians, and the audience are getting completely out of their depth. Why? Because they are faced with integrated interdisciplinary challenges, something that their education has not prepared them for.
Okay, so the question is about...
Well, the problem is the challenge ahead. The existing educational system is not sufficiently powerful to enable us to
I think that's a very valid point. Thank you. I think that's a very valid point. Anyone else? Yes, the gentleman over here. And again, very quick. Do we only have one mic? Okay, then give me, please, one of the... Because that's not quick enough. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Victor van Rij from the University of Amsterdam. And I also worked at the Far Horizon project, which was going about the subject of education for an ICT revolutionizing society. And what we found out was also that, the role of the teachers is neglected completely. The most illiterate people in the Western societies are probably the teachers at primary and secondary school, because everybody else is sitting at a computer at his desk, but the teacher is for the classroom and he doesn't have time or whatever to learn this. So.
Heike? Yes, the lady over here, please. So a lot of concern about education and how do we really use the educational system to make some advances. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Heike Kahl from the German Children and Youth Foundation. And I'm thinking, we have a broad picture about the chances and the opportunities. And when I look at the reality in Germany, I could really be depressed. I also want to talk about the teachers. For example, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern just now, there's an initiative to look for 500 new teachers because the old generation is going to retirement and nobody's there. And there's a big gap between the willingness and the competence of the young people and the older generation. And I think in this part, foundations play really an important role to be an engine of innovation. And I think we have to ask not what we have to do, because this we know, but how to do it.
Yeah.
And in this field, I think foundations has a big responsibility to change something.
Thank you so much, Heike. I think this is a very valid point. I note in passing that all of the comments were really about the educational system and about how do you make this happen. And I think, Mark, you have your work cut out for yourself. Now, we're running out of time. So before I wrap up, I want to give each of the panelists an opportunity to just give us one recommendation for what Europe and Brussels should do to drive forward the issues that you care so much about. And I mentioned to the panelists before the session, this is a very important and special year in Brussels because we'll have a new European Commission, a new European Parliament, a new President of the European Council. So it is really a moment when ideas can matter and make a difference. And with such an excellent panel here, I'm not going to let you go without one idea. Eduardo, we start with you in less than 20 seconds, please.
To recognize that it's an absolute priority. For me, it's a willingness to do.
Excellent. Mark.
Is this one still on? Or?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, it's on. I guess my obvious one is my proposal already there for us all to make a massive push for web literacy. But I think to these comments that were just here on the floor, I don't think we get stuck. In fact, we will fail from this moment if we get stuck looking at the traditional education system as a barrier or even as the path. Like you said, these young people maybe don't even want a degree. They're just going to do things. How we learn has changed. Now, we spend trillions of dollars on public education. Yes, we want to evolve it, but we can move this agenda quickly through just working with young people, through working on the ground with volunteers, by doing the kind of stuff that you're talking about doing online. Like, we just need to start doing this work. And I guess as the Commission looks at this, look creatively at ways to do this now and don't stare in the fear of the history of how hard it is to reform education.
I think that's an excellent point. Aki.
It is good that we are talking so much about education, because education is actually a basis for everything. And I just wish I would know how would look like the school in 2020. Thank you.
Doug, go ahead.
I would suggest we embed entrepreneurship into education. And second, we don't bypass the teachers. We empower and teach the teachers. They are the most important army of change that is underutilized. They get less respect and less pay, and they're doing the hard lifting. The teachers are not the obstacle, they're the answer.
Anne-Marie.
What Doug said, but also I think it should also be all hands on deck. So I think this panel's all been about the next generation. I think the current generation, you guys are here now. You have the money. You have, you're at work. Embrace technology, embrace digital, and understand what it might mean for you. If you can, as much as possible, get online, get using the webmaker tools. Just discover, learn. You're not going to pull down the internet. But having an understanding of it and having appreciation and awareness will help inform what you're doing a lot better than just listening to what we're saying.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to our excellent panel. Before you leave, I have a very important announcement. Can I get the slide, please? Today is a very important day. I thought so. Can I get my slide on... Yes, today is the world premiere of thinkbig.eu, a wonderful portal that I encourage you to visit. Has lots of information, lots of ideas on how to drive forward these very important topics that we spoke about here today: digital literacy, entrepreneurship, innovation, making it happen. Please visit thinkbig.eu, highly recommended. Before I let you leave, I have to apologize for two things. Number one is my voice. It has never happened to me before, but I have a 1-year-old who's been very ill, and I thought I could, I wouldn't catch it, but I did. So my sincerest apologies. And secondly, we had such a good discussion. That's the good news. The bad news is I did cut into your coffee break about 10 minutes. So my sincerest apologies for that as well. Thank you for coming. Another warm round of applause for our panelists.